For over 25 years, one of the most successful programs on television was a show called Hee Haw. Well, did you know that no one has ever gotten together all the cast members of that great show for a big old reunion? We thought it was high time that happened. So Country's Family Reunion decided to throw a big celebration for all the cast members of that great show. Set up some cameras, film it all for you. And everybody wanted to come, from Roy Clark to Gordy Tapp, George Lindsay to Lulu Roman, Buddy Allen Owens to Buck Trent. They all wanted to be a part of this reunion. We call it Country's Family Reunion Salute to the Kornfield, hosted by Bill Anderson. The stories are hilarious, the music unforgettable, and the memories, they'll last a lifetime. The front porch is waiting, so grab a glass of your favorite iced tea and enjoy the memories as we present Country's Family Reunion Salute to the Kornfield.
And the leader of the Hee Haw band for many, many years, going to show off a little bit on his harmonica playing the Orange Blossom Special, Mr. Charlie McCoy. Show off. That was great. Nobody does the Orange Blossom Special in the key of C.
Well, me and Johnny Cash do.
Oh, right. How and when did you become the musical director of Hee Haw? You weren't on board at the very beginning, were you?
No, actually, I was called in once to do a spot with Ray Charles, just for one show. And then a year later, Sam called me back and he said, I'd like for you to really consider to come and play with a band. Well, I was very, very busy doing session work at the time. And I said, Sam, I don't know, man. It might be a big conflict. He said, come and try it. So I came for one season, at the end of it, he said, "You coming back?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "Oh, come on. Okay, I'll try it one more time." So when I came back the next time, he said, "We want you to be leader of the band." And I'm thinking, if I get to be leader of the band, there won't be any backing out, right? So anyway, so I said, okay. And in my mind, I was thinking, boy, I don't know. And as I began to go and meet all these cast members, and I thought, this is the most special thing I've ever been a part of. And to be a part of this group of people, I mean, this is legendary stuff, you know. So then, at the end of that season, he came to me and he said, "Music director is marrying Tammy Wynette. Will you be music director?" I thought, music director? So I said, okay, I'll try it one more season. And 18 seasons later, I was still trying it, and I wish I could try it some more.
Yeah, you did a great job. Dolores of the Nashville edition, the singers over there, was telling me at one point there was like somebody from New York who actually came in and brought sheet music and written arrangements and all that kind of stuff. Did you have to overcome that?
Well, we always overcame that. No, you know, we had people who could read music, but, you know, it didn't hurt our playing any. Yeah.
So nobody came in and tried to tell you that you had to do orchestrated arrangements or anything like that? In other words, they just let you be Charlie McCoy?
Yeah, for the most part. The Hee Haw band was a great band, and the people that we backed, I never heard any complaints, and we enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, you were terrific, and thank you for that great version of the Orange Blossom Special.
Hey, my pleasure.
Charlie McCoy, member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Yeah.
When you did the Ray Charles thing, we were at WLAC then, I don't know what it's called now, WTVF, I think, and Ray Charles had wanted an orchestra, and we got him all of y'all, and he came in and started taping at 9 o'clock. They left at like 8 o'clock that evening. He loved y'all because they were playing the way he did, from their heart. It was great. We were calling, gotta come down there, you're not gonna believe this. It was wonderful.
Was there any particular artist, anything particular other than maybe Ray Charles that really stands out in your mind? Any great story of anybody along the way?
Well, I mean, I loved all the artists we had. One time I got to be a buckaroo. That was pretty cool.
All right.
And I always, you know, we always play with Roy. The $1 Million Band was a really special thing. But one of the things, you know, as music director, it wasn't my job to hire people. But there were 3 young up-and-coming artists that, as time passed, that I went to my boss on my knees and I said, "There's a young artist I think is going to be a star. Could we have him on the show?" And because I didn't ask too often, he said yes. And the 3 artists were Reba McEntire, Steve Wariner, and Alison Krauss.
You ought to be a talent scout.
Well, hey, with those 3, what are you going to do? I mean, it's there. Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you, Charlie. Great job from Charlie McCoy. Yeah. Ricky, did you, when you would go on Hee Haw, did you take your band, or did you work with Charlie in the band, or?
I usually took my band. You know, I had a band that really recorded my records on, you know, in the studio as well. Sometimes I would use some of the Nashville guys, but mostly I used my band.
Well, I would think in the early days of your being on Hee Haw, you hadn't gone totally bluegrass at that point.
Oh no, I was country music all the way. You know, we do some bluegrass. Oh, we do Uncle Pen and, you know, things like that. We did Country Boy, I remember, on there one night, and I remember I played the Mandocaster on something. I don't know if it was Don't Get Above Your Raising. There's a great picture that I have at the office of me playing the Mandocaster, just a little electric mandolin with a string bender in it, you know, and I had it amp cranked on 11, I think. And
like a baby guitar.
Yeah, it was a little baby guitar, but my band was playing, so it was a great show. I loved doing it. I loved doing Hee Haw, and you know, when I was a little kid, we went to the Life and Casualty building one night at the Friday Night Frolic, and we saw a lot a lot of the country music groups. I remember seeing Patsy Cline there. I remember seeing the Louvin Brothers there, and had just turned 7. And I remember we rode up the elevator with Archie Campbell. And for some reason, I reached in my pocket and pulled out a penny and gave it to Archie Campbell. And he said, "Well, thank you, son. I appreciate that." Said, I'll never be broke, you know. And so he stuck that penny in his wallet. Just opened up his wallet and stuck it down in this. And when I came to Nashville the second time, I moved here, got a record deal with CBS, and I saw Archie at the Opry right after I'd been inducted in 1982. And I was talking to him, and I said, "You know, you remember a little kid giving you a penny a long, long time ago?" And he said, "Well, yeah." I said, "That was me." He said, "You're kidding." He reached in his wallet and pulled out, and there was that penny, as green as it could be. And he had kept that penny all these years. That thrilled me to death. And so he and I just bonded and just become the best of friends. And I loved Archie. He was a dandy.
You know, Archie told me the first time, and maybe you can speak to this, Roy, a little bit. The first time I ever ran into Archie at the Opry, after Hee Haw had filmed the first time or two, he said, "Boy," he said, "we're doing the worst television show you've ever seen." And I said, "What do you mean the worst?" He said, "We're doing this thing called Hee Haw, and it's just no point to it." Of course, he had not seen it put together.
Right.
All he had seen was just the parts. And it didn't take him long to change his tune.
Yeah.
But did y'all all think that? Did you think maybe it wasn't a good show to start with?
Well, we didn't have anything to compare it to. I mean, we were going in there doing these pretty god-awful, saw no future in jokes. And I actually made the statement, I said, you know, I think I said it to Buck. I said, you know, if you give me 15 minutes, I can write you a whole season's worth of funnier stuff than they're giving us to read. And I said, well, and it wasn't until, I don't know.
You got one of the writers over here looking at you kind of funny.
I'm protecting you over here because this is the writer over here.
Well, he was the one I was going to pick on next. Where was I before?
And Archie Campbell was a big writer on the show too, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not here today.
I know.
Gordy, did you write the Empty Arms Hotel?
No, I never did.
Never
I
did
think
that?
that was Archie's. Yeah, no, I never did. I never wrote much for Roy because you didn't have to. Roy was funny on his own. You know, when he said thank you, you laugh. Well, if he said thank you, you laugh.
Well, but I wasn't speaking of any individual writer. No, seriously, I was speaking of all of it combined. You know, it just didn't move me. No emotion. It was, you didn't know whether to laugh or wait for something funny to happen.
Gordy, who wrote the You Were Gone?
I wrote a lot of them.
Did you?
Yeah. I can remember the one I wrote that I liked the best. I was waiting in a railroad station for a train, and I always had my pad with me, and I wrote, "You took off your hair, your eye, and your left arm. You should have seen the look on my face. I wanted to hug and hold you, my darling, but you were scattered all over the place."
Where are you tonight?
Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and all I found true love. You had another and you were gone.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Grandpa and I were hired to play on a Statler Brothers session. They had recorded 8 More Miles to Louisville, so they brought Grandpa and I in to put harmonica and banjo on. They recorded the song in the key of A flat. Grandpa tuned his banjo to open A. So it was as I came in the studio, he was there tuning that banjo down, and he tuned and tuned and tuned. And finally, you know how he would do that? He finally got it, and he went, it sounds like barbed wire on a gum stump.
Yeah, Kathy.
This is just sort of sweet. After the 10th anniversary show, we came back to taping, and we're sitting there, and I think, Gordy, you were sitting there with us, and Paul said, you know, because we were all astounded that the show kept going. I mean, every season we came back, and we were always amazed. And Paul had a very youthful face, and he always drew on his lines. And he's sitting there talking to Gordy and Don, and we're sitting there talking, and he says, you know, if this show goes, I might not have to draw these lines on anymore.
Ricky.
Well, Grandpa was a little forgetful of people's names, as you would remember. And I know he introduced Martina McBride one night at the Opry as Matilda McBride. So every time I see Martina, I always call her Matilda. And she loves it. And he was introducing Bob and Sonny one night, who had been there at the Opry for years. And Grandpa looked over there and said, welcome from up in Kentucky, him and him. Now, somebody's got to tell me if this is really the truth or not. Now, Ramon, you would know this. I heard that they were up at Grandpa and Ramon's house, the Hee Haw cast was, for like a barbecue or like a
We did that
thing.
I've
Right.
been there.
So Ramona had asked Grandpa to say grace over the food before they ate. So everybody kind of dropped their head, and Grandpa went, I know his name as good as I know my own. Is that true, Ramona?
One of my favorite Grandpa stories was the guy that came up to him one time said, Grandpa, I met you years ago on an elevator. Grandpa said, was he going up or down? Ramona, you were a big part of the act. You played fiddle and beautified the stage. Could we get you to play something?
Oh, I'd like to if Roy would.
I tell you what, on a given day, I ain't a fiddle player.
Is this that day? Is this that day?
I'm sitting here trying to remember, do I do this up and down or this?
I don't know either, Roy. I can't help you.
I may
You want me to come over there?
need a little help.
Boy, how time passes.
I may call on you, Mr. Trent.
Oh,
Where are we going?
what do you think? Are you gonna stand up?
As long as I can.
Are we going over? Where are we going to
Where are
fiddle
you
at?
going?
Right here?
Well, it's the lady's choice.
Okay. I think we might need a microphone.
Yeah, get a
there.
mic.
Okay.
Oh,
We need to do something in the key of D, don't we?
yes, that's the only key I know.
Key of D. Okay. Let's do an old tune called Liberty. You want to do that?
You got it.
You got it.
Okay.
Shall we?
One.
fiddles on Heehaw, didn't we?
Yes, we
had
did.
John Hartford to help us and all that. It was fun.
And Mr. Acuff.
And Mr. Acuff, that's
Yeah.
right, Roy Acuff. That was fun.
It was.
Thank you for playing with me today.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramona.
Thank you. You're sweet.
you. You promised me my reward.
But later.
Oh, my.
Of course, her name is Ramona. Grandpa used to call you Romany.
Yeah.
Romany, yeah. John Conlee, were you on Hee Haw? I guess you were. Everybody was.
I was on a couple of times. Yes, sure was. Early on, just after Rose-Colored Glasses hit, and then a little bit later. I'm not sure exactly what the year was after that, but you know, like so many other people, I was still living in Kentucky when I first was exposed to Hee Haw and became a fan of the program as a young person. Never dreaming I'd end up in Nashville and on it and getting to know all these great folks. You know, it was great.
Could we get a song out of you?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. You bet. Well, Hee Haw is such a family-oriented show, and that's what this song is about. This is about something that all the fans of Hee Haw were living, and a lot of us still are. My kids are grown, but here come the grandkids, so I'm still living that good old domestic life.
In my station wagon, trying to keep the muffler from dragging. Sometimes it all seems so defeating as I'm hustling to make it to the Cub Scout meeting. Ooh, I dream about Mexico, where all the pretty people go. But we're on a budget that just won't budge. Not much money, but a whole lot of love. Living that domestic life. Happy children and a pretty wife. Our Cocker Spaniel's always having puppies. How could anybody be so lucky? See me mowing my domestic yard. Lord, I owe my soul to MasterCard. But it seems to suit me to a T. That domestic life's all right with me. Our neighbors' names are Fred and Ruth. He wears a lot of leisure suits. She sells Avon and Tupperware too. We're always ducking all the bull they shoot. Ooh, I'll never be president, and we never seem to save a cent. But things are looking better every day. Hell, I'm sergeant at arms of the PTA. Living that domestic life. Happy children and a pretty wife. Our Cocker Spaniel's always having puppies. How could anybody be so lucky? They see me mowing my domestic yard. Lord, I owe my soul to MasterCard. But it seems to suit me to a T. That domestic life's all right with me. Children and a pretty wife. Our Cocker Spaniel's always having puppies. How could anybody be so lucky? They see me mowing my domestic yard. Lord, I owe my soul to MasterCard. But it seems to suit me to a T. That domestic
John. We started a while ago, or started reading a list of some of the people that were Hee Haw regulars that are no longer with us, and we got as far as junior samples, and we started telling junior stories, and I didn't get as far as I wanted to go. But let me just start over and just kind of mention these people, because I know they're here with us in spirit today. Buck Owens, Jim and John Hager, junior samples, String Bean, Grandpa Jones, Roy Acuff, Archie Campbell, the Round Mound of Sound, Kenny Price. Amen. Wonderful man. Jimmy Riddle and Jackie Phelps, of course, we mentioned them. Grady Nutt, he was an ordained minister, wasn't he? Reverend Grady Nutt. Dub Taylor, Slim Pickens, Cousin Minnie Pearl, bless her heart and rest her soul. Harry Cole, Tennessee Ernie Ford. I didn't know he was a regular member of the Hee Haw cast.
He sang
was
with
for a
the
while.
gospel quartet.
Don Rich, of course, that played with Buck. Sheb Woolley, and he did some writing for the show as well.
Yeah, he wrote the theme song.
Wrote the theme song and some others. John Henry Falk, John Aylesworth, who was the co-creator, and Bob Boatman, who was the director. People that we miss. Did I leave anybody out? I hope I didn't. This was a list that was provided to me. Moe, you said earlier you had a story about Roy Acuff, and I mentioned his name a while ago.
You know, first of all, I want to say what a thrill to be here. These are my heroes right here. And, you know, the way we judged my career when I was coming up, it was a level there. And my dad, he'd say, where's Moe? Did Hee Haw last week. That's the way, so he did good.
Yeah, that's right.
He's on Hee Haw last week. But I was doing one, and I had my family with me, and my son was about 8 years old. And we lost him at the Opry House. We lost him, couldn't find him. Looked everywhere. And about the point where we're going to panic, you know. Went out front, and this is where you wish you had that camera like we all have with us today. But my son was sitting on the steps of Mr. Roy Acuff. And Mr. Acuff didn't know who he was, and he didn't know who Mr. Acuff was. But that was the prettiest picture, and I got it right here. I keep it right there. But I loved everything Hee Haw stood for. It was funny. It had all the talent in the world. It was just a big part of my music history. When I got on Hee Haw, I thought, buddy, I did it. I did it now.
Do you guys who were regulars on Hee Haw, do you feel as much at home as I do with this set? Didn't they do a great job building this, kind of replicating the Hee Haw set?
Real feeling.
I think they did a
Real feeling.
did a terrific job. What's that, Gordy?
I said a real feeling of the show.
Yeah. Ronnie, how long were you on Hee Haw?
I think I was on about 19 years.
Wow.
You know, yeah.
Now, was the Stoneman family, you weren't part of Hee Haw as with the family, were you?
No, I was a sex symbol before Hee Haw. No.
Still is, yeah.
See what I had to put up with?
No, I tell you, the family played music forever. I met Roy Clark when he was working with Connie B. Gay. When I was, how little was I, Roy? Little, teeny. Of course, I was always teeny in that time. But anyway, we were playing at Constitution Hall, and I think you were there. Were you not at Constitution Hall?
Did I what?
Were you playing Constitution Hall?
Constitution Hall.
I didn't say Constitution. I said Constitution.
This is the English language, Roy, our mother tongue.
Club in Washington.
You say she will bite?
That was a grandpa moment right there.
I didn't say
That was a
Constitution
grandpa
Hall. I
moment.
said Constitution. But were you there? That was Connie B. Gay's thing.
No,
Those
but
years. But I played with the. Yeah, I was.
Constitution Hall.
Yes, in
Yeah.
Washington D.C.
I know the address.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you played it, and we were there.
Yeah, but I didn't play it with the Stoneman family.
No, you did not. But you did. You were there, and you played all over the places that we played too.
Yeah.
But I played with the Stonemans all my
Oh,
life.
I know it. We
since
used
I
to
was
swap
4.
places.
Yeah, I don't know the skull orchards. Those were humdingers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the chicken wire around the stage. I played a few of them too. I had to. It was like the Blues Brothers. Weren't they cool? Yeah.
So I think what you're trying to say is you and Roy Clark go back a long way.
Well, no, his family and my family. They were from Virginia. You're Virginia folks, aren't you not? Yes. And they played in around Maryland and Virginia, and you did too. And you would play with different bands and then by yourself. And we would play the famous Bar and Grill, 12th New York Avenue. And you would take our Tuesday nights off. You were a trip. We loved you. You came in there and you played so good. Darn, you were good.
She's older than you think she is.
Huh?
She's older than you think she is.
Everybody's older than I think they are.
That's a good way to
No,
win.
I had a chance one time. Her daddy, Pop Stoneman, sent word backstage at Turner's Arena, which was a place we played on Saturday nights. And he sent word back by one of the boys. I don't know if it was Eddie or Jack.
He knew all my brothers.
Wanted to know, this is when five-string banjo first became real popular. And they did not have one in the Stoneman family band
Oh, my goodness.
at that time.
We had one, but he was in jail.
There's a country song for you right there. There's a country song.
Well, it's true.
Wanted to know if I would go to work with the Stoneman family, and I considered it as a compliment. And then I got to thinking, they said there was one stipulation. I would have to change my name to Stoneman.
Now, wait a minute, I'll tell you why he said that. Because everywhere we played, there had to be at least so many Stonemans on the stage before we got paid. And you had to be, oh, well, thank you, yeah.
I rest my case.
What about a song from Ronnie Stoneman in the Red Boots?
I had to put that there for protection. I bought this banjo in 1956 in Baltimore. Remember old Fred Walker? Yep, I supported a lot of youngins with this banjo. When you're hot, when you're not, you can't give it away. Here we go. Aren't they good? There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been a ruin of many poor boy. And God, I know He's one. My mother, she was a tailor. She sewed my blue jeans. My father was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. is when he lays money down. Let's go.
Ronnie Stoneman. What did you say she does? What with her picks?
It's amazing. I just let her tell it, so I won't be found guilty. I was just telling Bill what you use to keep your picks from coming off of your fingers.
I use crazy glue because I got knots on my fingers and my picks fall off. But if I go to the bathroom and I scream, you don't worry.
So you keep them on there all the time?
Well, yeah, one time I forgot they were on there.
And now for our gospel number.
Well, hey, that's life. No, I show you. I gotta show you, Bill.
Huh?
You see the knots on my fingers? The knots?
Yeah, I see.
Overusage. See how straight my fingers are? But that's overusage.
Yeah. So you keep them on with crazy glue.
Crazy glue.
See the things you learn when you come to the family reunion. You just learn all kinds of things.
Don't go away. We'll be right.
Moe, she was talking about her family, the Stoneman family. Of course, your brother was actually the rodeo clown, not you, right?
He was a bull rider. He
Bull
rode
rider.
bulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You just introduced me a while ago to your nephew, whose name is Clint.
Clint Bandy.
Clint Bandy. And he's getting in the music business?
He's getting in the music business. Great songwriter, singer. And he moved to Nashville, and he's a struggling artist and singer. Been here about 7 months, and I'm kind of introducing him around.
He's hoping the Bandy name doesn't hold him back.
I'm hoping. We've debated on whether he should change it or not. But his dad went to the national finals 7 times in the bull riding event. Oh, wow. And he was a great bull rider.
So how old is Clint?
Clint's about 24, 25. Yeah. Went to Texas Tech University, and he's ready to go. He's got that fire in him like we all had, you know. Still got a little of it.
I was going to say, what do you mean had? You've still got it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, still got it.
How about a song?
All right.
Okay. Everybody's working Charlie McCoy hard today.
And Charlie played on so many of my records. He was a session leader on a lot of them. And golly, we cut a song. I'm not going to do it now, but I'll tell the story about it. We cut a song, and Charlie said, every time I put the organ on a song, it's a hit. And he put the organ on a song, and it was Song of the Year in '79, Cheating Situation. And Charlie, would you have Easy Lovin'?
Easy loving, you lay so easy on my mind.
Hey, played organ on Broken Lady.
Oh, did he really?
He certainly did.
Yeah. So it's good to have Charlie here. And by the way, those skull orchards she talked about over there, I played them where they have the chicken wire, but we had a hole in there where we could throw stuff back at them. But I had my brother was doing so well in the sport of rodeo, and I told Whitey Schaefer, I said, I need a rodeo song. So one night about 3 o'clock in the morning, I got a call, and it was Whitey and Lefty Frizzell. And they sang this song to me over the phone, and I cut it. And not many people have a song with their name in it. One called Bandy the Rodeo Clown. Who was once a bull-hooking son of a gun? Now who keeps a pint? Get out behind shoot number 1. There he does. Who was riding high till a pretty girl rode him to the ground? Any kid knows where to find me. I'm Bandy the Rodeo Clown. In the riding and the roping, I was closing in on number one. Now in dreams at night I ride on that silver satellite, never won. Since she left me the whiskey, takes me to the rodeo grounds, where the cowboys think I'm handy, I'm Bandy the rodeo clown. And I could ride 'em all, the bulls and the broncs knew I was boss. But to ride that woman took me on, broke a whole lot more than this old cowboy's bone. While the tears on my makeup melts my painted smile into a frown, the crowd thinks I'm a dandy, I'm Bandy the rodeo clown. And I could ride 'em all, the bulls and the broncs knew I was boss. But to ride that woman took me on, broke a whole lot more than this old cowboy's bone. While the tears on my makeup melts my painted smile into a frown, the crowd thinks I'm a dandy, I'm Bandy the rodeo clown. The crowd thinks I'm a dandy, I'm Bandy the rodeo clown. Whoa!